Hey, what's up? Chris Weinert here. Wow, it's like 4 in the morning, but I just want to pop in and do a quick video. I found some of my stuff back from, I think it was like 2019, maybe. Somebody had posted on YouTube. I hadn't seen any of my old stuff in several years, 4 or 5 years probably. And some of it was spot on about, well, actually, most of it was probably spot on. Talking about many things. I talked about Bitcoin. I talked about the COVID vax. I talked about the disease X COVID. 2 years fully before they even had it in the media or talked about it. I talked about the World Economic Forum. I talked about basically everything that people are going nuts about right now. And of course, went through a good dozen channels on YouTube alone and had much of it purged. And of course, have been trolled, have been had much of my property destroyed. Really, pretty much ran out of Detroit so that I could actually survive long enough to continue making videos. We'll say. I went through a good dozen sets of tires. People try to run into me head-on collisions. People coming to my house trying to break into it, things like that. So yeah, I had some pretty serious shit going on, and I still kept doing it despite getting shit from the people around me telling me to quit and just go along with it and ignore it and just pretend it never happened, look it in the eyes, trip over it, and just get up and walk away like you never saw the thing in the first place. You know, a la Winston Churchill or J. Edgar Hoover, any of these other assholes, Woodrow Wilson. They always said stuff like that. And from the get-go, I've said that the Scottish Rite Freemasons are tied with B'nai B'rith and the Jews and putting this all together. And I've been struck down for hate speech for even pointing this out. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. These people could just literally destroy your whole lives, and you even put a finger at them, they can erase you. And I'll have to say that how we react at this particular point upon discovering this situation and the nature of this relationship will ultimately determine the fate of humanity. I just found out the other day, speaking of old videos and old friends, that HT was arrested. And I have to say that what we do now, as far as getting people like this activists out of jail, whether you're talking HT, whether you're even talking Alex Jones or some of these controlled insiders, um, even Julian Assange, what he did, 12 years ago, the guy's been in solitary confinement for a good decade. And to let this keep going on like this and not protect the people that actually bring the truth out. And people can say, oh, well, Julian Assange never really, gift wrapped Israel for everybody and this and that. I guess everybody's got their own level of information and their own conclusions to arrive at. But I just think for providing the information and putting it out there, even stating a opinion concluded upon facts, is part of free speech. And if you don't protect even the worst of it, or even the people that you think don't deserve protection, ultimately it's going to come back for you. It's ultimately going to come back for us. It's going to come back for everyone. And this is exactly the slippery slope that could run humanity into the buzzsaw and certainly disrupt the evolution of man chart. I think it's already done that. I think that's a big reason why we are where we are now, is because that has gone on for long enough and far too long. So I don't care which way you fall on the side of personally liking any of these people or agreeing with what they say. You have to agree with their right to say it and have to defend these people like you're defending your own rights. Because if you don't, they're just going to get thrown to the dustbin of history, and you're pretty much going to get pushed back to before wherever they started, and probably, basically fall into what become the Gazan or the Native American Indian concentration camp model. And there's no joke about this. This is absolutely a thing. It's not hyperbole or some sort of a dramatic, unrealistic fear. This is something that's going to be coming for you, coming for me, coming for everybody until we all stand up and stop this. So it has to end with our generation. And I want to thank everybody that's been thoughtful and kind enough to listen to what I have to say and share my content if you agree with it. Even if you don't, I guess it's always nice to know that people are out there at least just trying to make a stand. And I think we have to do a lot more than just doing things like that. I think it's actually going to have to go out into the physical, real world and take back what has been stolen from us. Whether it's the Constitution, whether it's your property, whether it's your free speech, anything like that, your capital. Like I said, inflation and taxation are the two biggest forms of theft. And they've known about this. This is Marx. This is protocols. This is stuff that anybody that's read this stuff knows damn well what these guys are doing. And those that haven't taken the time to study this stuff and do their diligence and research are probably the first ones that are going to meet you and gaslight you for pointing this out. And of course, just fall down to the reflex of defending their own debt slavers and oppressors. So, yeah. Find me any option that has not been created as a fabrication of power for the Jewish control system. And I think when you find stuff like that, you should at least stand behind people that are having the courage to point this out and to defend their communities against this. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, what happens to them is going to happen to you. Maybe it's just a matter of time, and it's almost measurable. Thanks.